We come here because we are proud of the work we do. I left a job that I'd been at 13 years. And I came here because this was the place I wanted to work. This was the place that I was proud to work at, not to be inflamed in the newspaper and misrepresented by wages and other benefits that we get. It's time for the BART board to stand up for their employees. We stand up for you every day of the week when we step up to do our jobs. We just want that in return. It's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask, and it's not unreasonable. And that's all we want you to do. Jeannie passed around a letter of commendation to one manager. How many people were at Montgomery that night? And I wondered, did they get a letter of commendation? I mean, did anybody even acknowledge them? But yet, because we had over 40 members at the meeting 4 weeks ago, we had management in some departments checking names and asking people, what were you doing there? We're doing what we have a right to do. We're members of the public. We have a right to ask for a fair contract. It's not unreasonable. All we're asking for is for you to do what you expect us to do. A fair job, an equitable job. We go above and beyond every day of the week. There is not one member in any of the 3 locals and the 2 BART police unions that are not doing what they can to go above and beyond their basic job description. That is all we are asking, and that is all that we expect. And we don't think that it is too much to ask. Thank you.
Aaron Wheeling, are you here? Great, welcome. And then after Aaron, I've got George Sergio Figueroa.
That's a lot of hard acts to follow, so I just want to kind of reiterate what's been said, and more eloquently than I can say it, but the capital and legacy projects that you all are proud of and prioritize, they really become a gross misuse of public funds when they're ruined or made unusable because there isn't just some basic precautions taken for the public or employee safety. As example, the Richmond area station revitalization, they have a nice Richmond Transit Village that included a ticket exchange booth which sits vacant with no known date of reopening, luckily. I say luckily. It closed on January 14th after with an armed robbery. And I say closed luckily because on March 14th, when there was the fatal shooting and a lot of gunfire, one of the bullets went right through that ticket exchange. So luckily it was closed and there wasn't anyone inside there that also became a victim of the shooting that day. You heard reference to one of our members who was in the booth for over 40 minutes after calling in because there was a patron who was trying to stab her with 2 large knives through the glass and through the little pass-through where people can put change and passes. So I know there was a lot of campaign talk and promises made about getting more attention to the West County stations, especially Richmond. It's not getting better, no matter how much money is spent building transit villages and doing, a bunch of nice remodels and everything else. That's all surface. If people aren't safe there, it's not going to draw more riders. That was, I believe, the point of a lot of that was to make it more accessible, to make it more usable, to increase ridership. That's not going to happen when people have to fear for their lives going there, no matter how nice it looks. So it'd be nice to see some of the promises of attention being paid to those stations. I don't know if it's because the residents and workers don't have $60,000 in campaign contributions to make that's why it affects it, but like I said, Richmond's been neglected for a long time. Additionally, I think it's just discerning that the Bart Police Department doesn't have a method of tracking victims of crime within their record management system. I think that's a problem. I mean, we have 40 years of escalation of violence against both the frontline employees and the public. It's been 30 years since a station agent was viciously raped during her performing her job duties. The violence in the workplace policy hasn't been looked at since 2006. The violence in the workplace committee is, from all I can tell, defunct. I challenge anyone to tell me what the status of it is. I would love to know. Even the required Cal OSHA 300A reports that are supposed to be posted by February 1st through April 30th, they're nowhere to be found in any of our work locations. It's just, there's just a lot of things that I find disconcerting. I would like to see some attention given to those as well. It was upsetting that last meeting I wasn't able to attend. I did watch it online streaming, and my representative, Yuri Hawley, made comments about some things that were important issues to all of us, and it didn't make it onto the final reel. When it was posted, that was gone. Her comments were gone, other people's comments were gone. I don't know why any of it, why it would be edited or what's behind that, but I'd like to see attention paid to some of these things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last speaker, not the last speaker. George Figueroa is next. George, Robbie Kramer has ceded the time to you, so you've got 6 minutes. Are you here? Okay, great. And then after George, I've got Marlon Rodriguez.
I wanted to touch on two topics. One is the manner in which negotiations.
Microphone, please.
The manner in which negotiations are being conducted, and also I kept a little diary of my last 2 weeks at 12th Street, and I'll start with that. I had one stroke victim that I had to deal with. I had to remove a passenger who got sick on the train and get her to a hospital. I had several people report thefts of phones and bags. I had 84 cases of fare evasion in one day. That was really embarrassing. I was barked at by a guy who had 2 pit bulls, and he joked that the other one was for the blind guy that I couldn't see. There were 2 cases of domestic violence. Perpetrators were allowed to go. Then I got several reports of this happens especially early in the morning. People in the cars, sleeping, and exposed. I had one masturbator. I had urine and feces in the elevators and in the stairs, and one on the escalators. I don't know how they managed that one. And also, we have regulars at several stations. I just came off working at Berkeley, who just used to go up behind women and squeeze them, and this was a daily occurrence, and they would complain, and nothing was done about it. Okay, so that's just some of the things that we do that make the day enjoyable. My main concern is that I don't understand why we're all here to make BART run, to make it into, the Neiman Marcus transportation system. It's become like the 99-cent store transportation system. It's really filthy. I've been riding BART since it first opened. I was a passenger until I became an employee, and I was really proud to work here. And camaraderie is down. There's no esprit de corps. It's like this is the most adversarial place I've ever worked. And I was in the United States Army in 72 and 73. And this is by far the most adversarial place. I don't understand why we can't work towards a common goal. We want the service to get better. We want the workers to be treated well. These are the things that we should be working on in the contract. The contract should be about how can we make this place work better? What can we do for you? What can you do for us to make BART the transportation system that it once was? Because I think, we can pat ourselves in the back and say we have a 95%, on-time record, but there are a lot of things that are wrong with the system. And if you ride it daily, like I do, I'm not just an employee, I'm also a rider. I ride it all the time. And we need to be civil, we really need, and it can be done. I don't understand why we're at this point, and every 4 years, the public is wondering, is there going to be a strike? How am I going to get to work? And then this thing is made ugly in the press. Why is the public subjected to this? Why do they have to go through this? Why can't we have a contract on time? I don't understand why, cooling off periods are called for. We know what needs to be done. This is 40 years. And it's the same thing over and over again. And we all should be ashamed of ourselves that this is allowed to go on. This is a very serious issue. And it also, it directly affects the safety of the workers. As I said earlier, people are coming up to me already, commenting on what they read in the paper about how we're never there, how we're not doing our work, how we're overpaid. It's not that we're overpaid. Other people are underpaid. Really, that's what you need to think about it. Most people are underpaid. Most people can't afford to live in the Bay Area. I mean, I would like to see my kid go to school. I'm driving a 1996 Subaru with 300,000 miles on it because I'm trying to put my kids to school. And I think that I should earn the wage that allows me to do that. And I don't think we're asking for too much. We're asking for what everyone here wants, and no more. Thank you.
Thank you. Marlon Rodriguez.
Good morning. I'm not going to take too long. It's very short what I have to say. As you know, my name is Marlon Rodriguez. I work as a station agent at in San Francisco, M-Line. And I'm here because I'm very concerned about the safety and security of all the bar employees, not just the station agents, but specifically the station agents. They already mentioned it, but I was recently attacked on Sunday morning at the Glen Park bar station. And when I tell people that I was attacked at Glen Park, they get surprised. They say, wow, I didn't expect you to be attacked at Glen Park. Most people expect this type of things to happen at 16th Street, 24th Street, maybe Civic Center, here, maybe MacArthur here in Oakland, but never Glen Park. So if this type of things happens in Glen Park, it could happen anywhere in the system, any station. I was punched